Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. We'll jump in the queue here and see what Jamboree is up to today. Having just finished recording the previous episode. You may recall we played against Jamboree and then watched a game, or the end of a game by Jamboree. Here we're watching the beginning. Both players going high econ. Seems reasonable. I see Centurion and Odin and Asteri in the set, although you probably don't get all three of those. They're all things that sort of argue for high econ. Vi is probably a good enough punish for Centurion that you might not get it. Yeah. And with Smorkus in the set, you can spend the excess red pretty comfortably. Yeah, okay. Both players getting Vi. Fine. It's nice to get a Smorkus before Vi so that you can spend the red cheaply when you're done, but it also sort of made you kind of get the Vi a little later. And now your opponent gets... Ooh. Gets a good Vi. Interesting question regarding Enervy Field. Is it worth using Vi to freeze it 3 times? It costs you 3 attack and you destroy the Enervy thereby, so it's sort of break even in that way. But it gives you more tempo, right? Here you obviously use Vi to freeze wall. Held 1 too many drones, right? The opponent could only breach for a drone if you had held 1 fewer, right? They can't kill any of your attackers. So I think this was 1 too many drone holds. Right, you offer them a breach for 1, but you weren't getting any absorb anyway, and all they can kill for 1 is a drone. In case I don't know if I stated that very clearly. I tried to, but I guess we're just getting like Vi and Smorkus, and that's the whole set, huh? Good fibroid. Good fibroid. Probably not clicking Vi here. I'm not sure actually. It might be worth it to make your opponent lose an attacker or something. But I think probably not. Jamboree seems winning here? I don't know. The Venge Cannon's pretty cool. Like... But, yeah, you're just, like, down so many drones is the thing. I mean, I guess that's sort of what Venge Cannon is. You say, I'd like to be down some drones, put up some attack. And then the question is just if it's worth it. Okay, cool. So I guess we're getting matched with Jamboree next, maybe? Let's see what these guys are up to. Oh my gosh, another Vi game. Building defense grid into Vi. Oh, it feels so sad. I don't know if Savior is enough justification for this. Look at all these rhinos. To defend against the plasma fires. Huh. No! Don't freeze a plasma fire, you weirdo! That's crazy. Yeah, you should you freeze the wall? Don't know, actually. They can't absorb on it anyway, can they? So they would be sacking it as soak and absorbing on plasma fire anyway? In which case, I don't know why we froze it. I guess it cost them some granularity this way, but it gave them some health. This is not defending. Yeah, I think the Vi player wins this one. The defense grid is just not good enough, and you couldn't get the bombarders going in time. Losing plasma fires on defense here. 1 health plasma fires even. You lose all your threat, and then they just walk all over you. I don't know. I mean, Savior can pull some miracles, that's for sure. And defense grid is, like, pretty good. You know, giving you 2 drones per turn, sort of, right? But, you know, the enemy is attacking for, like, 14 and you're attacking for 0, so it's sort of a problem. On the other hand, they've exhausted the Rhino supply. Oh, boy. Can Urban Sentry do it? Isn't this Breach? That seems pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, the Vi player has so much soap. Oh no! Breached again for drones. That's lights out, for sure. Alright, we don't have to wait for him to resign. I'm leaving. It's the only game! I have to watch it, I guess. Oof. Maybe it has some good replays against Masterbot we can look at that would be more interesting. Let's go look at my last loss against Masterbot. I don't remember it, but I'm sure it was interesting. I had a while. I think he got like actually 2 games in a row against me. These don't count. I was testing out some thorium lines. There we go. Ah, too bad. Rupert. I think I played Rupert once. We both have contribute bonus unit cards turned off, apparently. Didn't even do the little lottery at the beginning. So, what's the deal here? Seems pretty rushy. There's a lot of, like, it seems like a red-green rush. The main question for me is if you can somehow get an Arca as well. Also, whether you get your Animus on turn 2 or turn 3. I don't think it's fast enough for a turn 2 Animus, because it's sort of hard to support, like to actually get the green you want and then spend your tech on just like 8 drones. So it's probably a turn 3 Animus. And I'd like to get a Gaussite, but honestly, like just a Conduit is probably better. And we transition into Ferals and Vors. Basically, maybe get a Fission if we're really happy and lucky someday. But I don't think any of that's gonna, like, I don't think we're gonna get that Fission. I think it's just, okay, that's enough, thanks. I think it's basically like these top 3 units and then maybe these 2 somehow. Arca would be nice, but I just don't see it happening. I don't see anyone having the money to spend 10 bucks on blue while still staying alive. Alright, so I think turn 3 Animus is probably better. Right? How good exactly is the player 2 turn 2 Animus? Not actually all that great, because they can't get a Conduit very soon. So I don't think I need to overreact by undercutting that. That's usually how it goes in a Feral game, is that like the turn 2 Animus by player 2 is not that great because they lose access to Ferals. So I'll take the turn 3 Animus, and if they did go for a turn 2 Animus, I'll get a Conduit as well, and otherwise I'll just get a few more drones so I can like build Tarsiers and Vors and then a Conduit after that. No! No! You can't do that. Don't kid me. This is the second... This was just like yesterday that some... I mean, maybe 2 days ago for you guys, but... Yesterday, someone did this. And I was so shocked by this turn 2 double blast forge for Deadeyes that I especially in a set that was clearly wrong for it, that I went to the Discord and I was like, is there any set where this could possibly be right for Deadeyes? And everyone agreed with me that there is no set where this is correct for Deadeyes. So, okay, do we want a conduit against this instead of the drones? I did not anticipate this, so I didn't think it through, but I think the answer is no. We're gonna be a bit over-teched if they're shooting down our drones, and so I'd rather just get, like, TTC next turn. Or maybe not even get the conduit and just kill them with fours and tarsiers, right? I won't need a feral if they never build an attacker. This is so weird. Why does this happen? I don't know. Maybe just drone? Like, it's unclear. Like, certainly I can spend the green if I want on ferals, but I don't anticipate the opponent literally ever building an attacker before the game is over. If, like, right? So what exactly do I get out of this green? I think I just need more drones. And I could build another drone here, or I could build a conduit. I don't think I want a conduit still. Like, these Deadeyes, the only way I can lose is if I somehow... Well, I don't know. There's no way I can lose. So what does it matter, right? But this sort of should be an important decision. I don't think a conduit is good. If I ever get to a position where I really want green, I can just, like, build a Gaussite. I don't know. I could... Hang on. I should build an NG, right? NG is a down payment on an Electrovore and also allows me to build another drone next turn. I can build T1D with my 11 bucks. Yes, I want this NG. Oh no, an attacker! Alright, well... The NG isn't doing anything this turn, but next turn it's an attacker, so... I'll have 11 bucks next turn. It's not really anything in particular. I could get an NG. I'm not sure what I would use it for. I'm clearly not going to be building 2 attackers and a drone on my 9 bucks if I build an NG here, so I'll just do this. Manticore. Wow, the ambition is real. Clicking the splitter when it does nothing is not a great plan. Can I get away with a Vor here? No, they could click... Well, okay, question. Can they click both splitters? Is that a thing that is possible? Probably yes, since they have a Deadeye defending. So this Vor should just be a Tarsier. This NG keeps the Vors I already have firing, right? And threatens to let me build more Vors later, unless they actually click both splitters. Which they can do, but it's not that amazing. I get a free Rhino hold next turn, which is nice. But not 2 free Rhino holds. Okay. Now is probably an okay turn for a Gaussite, I think. so I can start getting ferals. If they click the splitter and attack with the Manticore, then one of my Vores doesn't fire next turn, which, like, oh well. Clearly, I think, worth it to get, like, Feral. Like, I have Feral plus Blood Pact every turn till the end of the game if I want, which seems like it'll clearly be enough to defend against 3 attack. Obviously, I won't do exactly that. I might just Feral plus NG or something to let me get my Vores firing again. But I think green's pretty useful. Is it, though? I don't know. What if I just got like a single attacker and a couple NGs? I don't know. I don't believe they can really attack me for 3. And if they do, fine. I can lose 1 attack for 1 turn to get out the scout site. Okay, well, they did. I don't know, I guess I should have counted a little more carefully. But, not a big deal. Right, they're up 5 drones, which is a lot. But they're down 6 attack, which is more. And here, they can keep my Electrovore turned off if they attack with everything. Again, oh well. Oh wow, the Feral Punish. Don't attack. You got me. Tarsier time? Might be just NG time, actually. If they attack for exactly 3, that's fine. I'll just build a Tarsier. I don't mind losing Rhino onto Feral and against an attack for 3. Who cares? If one of my Vores gets turned off. Sorry. If I absorb a little bit less, but I get to attack for more, that's clearly worth. And it's sort of awkward for them to do that anyway. How are your wall supplies doing? I see. I mean, I don't know. Wall supplies are not going to be relevant. The fact that I'm attacking and they're not is a lot more relevant. Okay. Well, there you go. Pretty uninteresting game. I mean, what is there to say about the tactics here? When clearly the game was over at turn 2. And I don't know. Yeah, I think it would have been... Obviously, it would have been a much more close game if my opponent had gotten an Animus first. I would be interested to know whether, like, turn 2 or turn 3 is the right turn for an Animus from my opponent, and for me. Does a turn 2 Animus for me actually lose against Deadeyes? It can't, right? There's no way. I don't know. Yeah, because I could just build 2 Vores into their, like, I want to build a Deadeye. Yeah. I don't think they would respond with 2 Forges against that. Okay, well, moving on, I guess. That's 20 minutes? I guess 90 seconds is a hell of a drug, huh? I know, we waited in queue for a little while, but it was still a long game. Oh yeah, we'll look at my loss against Masterbot here. This was a good one to... I mentioned this actually in Emsven's Twitch chat, because he was talking about how he believes Apollo is the worst unit in the entire game, and there's almost no set where you should get Apollo. And here, I thought, is a pretty good Apollo set, right? There's like Infusion Grid as your defender. There's no like really great pressure attackers. you know, Hannibal's some pressure, Scorch is some pressure, but like Urban Sentry does well against Scorch, and I didn't really see Hannibal being that exciting. Brooder is not that great because you can get grids instead of walls. So I thought we start with some Deadeyes, we get an Apollo, and we build like sentries and grids. Masterbot recognizes the power of Fastimus with Galvani. Definitely an improvement over the standard Fastimus line for sure. It like gets you this extra Galvani for free, basically. And he just builds Tarsiers for a while, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get him. This grid actually probably should have been a wall. I think I went a little bit overboard on, like, the grids are better than walls. Like, clearly saving 2 damage would have been good, right? I don't know. And then suddenly I'm just, like, in this mess where he's just, like, attacking me with Tarsiers, but I'm like, look, I have a grid. I have so much defense, right? Deadeyes will stop him from doing anything. And then, like, I get this Apollo. I'm like, yeah, I'll just, even if he buys out the Tarsier supply, I'll be okay. But he starts getting Hannibals. And, like, he gets all 4 Hannibals. And I still think, like, this is a little bit close. But look how he has, like, no drones, right? I should be able to hang on for a while. But I realized, like, when am I ever going to get to 7 attack if I'm spending 2 blue per turn on defending? I can only build 1 splitter per turn, and I can't do it forever. I'm losing drones, and like my wall supply is going away. And I actually get to 7 attack, and I'm like, okay, thank God, right? But I have to hold 1,000,000 drones to stop him from reaching my splitters. And I kill most of the bulls. And all the Tarsiers, you know, I'm about to snipe this last one, but he has 1,000,000 drones left, and I don't have any, and I just have 6 splitters, and like I just, nothing here I do can kill 2 Hannibals, and 2 Hannibals can kill everything I have. So all the rest of this stuff is just like extra. So he actually like completely ruined me. I was clobbered this game. I didn't just lose; it wasn't close. And so I had fun telling Sven about this one because Apollo is so bad that when I get it, I lose to Masterbot, right? Like, it's not like I never lose to Masterbot, but recently I was on like a 48-game win streak against Masterbot, I think. I don't think that wasn't the game that lost it. It was like one of these down here or something. But like I don't lose against him a lot, and I lost because I went for Apollo. Funny stuff. I guess I might as well show you guys the analysis I was doing of Thorium Dynamo, which was, well, where is it? Did I scroll too far down? Yeah. Someone in Twitch chat, Tobel, I think, was arguing against the standard Player 2 Thorium Dynamo opening. I guess in this game I'm Player 1, so we'll, I'll, wait, how am I Player 1? Oh, what? I don't understand. That must have been a mistake. But anyway, arguing against this line, right? Saying that it means you waste an energy on turn 3, and wouldn't it be better to go D1, D1 instead of 1, 1, D? I think I've analyzed this before, actually, like against an opponent who actually made this mistake. But in a set with just Thoriums, it's sort of clearer. So here's the sort of standard line. And I thought that the end of... the beginning of turn 5 is a good place to look at the difference between the 2 lines, right? Yeah, this actually looks extremely familiar to me. I think I did actually do this in a game on the channel. But so this is what the standard line... So the assumptions that I made were like, you want at least 2 dynamos eventually, and you want some blue. This is like sort of a convenient thing to spend some money on. You often do this in dynamo sets. And so in the standard line is like, DD, 1-1, D, D1B. That's a normal way to get there. And you arrive at turn 5 with 17 income, 13 gold, and 4 green, right? So let's suppose you aim for, you want the same thing. You want some, about the same number of drones eventually. You want blue. So it should be this game, right? Was I just wrong about which player I was? Yeah, this is player 2. I don't know why I thought it was player 1. Because I was on the bottom. When you spectate someone, player 1's on the bottom. But in your own games, you're on the bottom regardless. So he advocates for this line, D1 into D1, and then, like, assuming you want the same number of, like, assume you want the third dynamo. It sort of evens out whether you get a third dynamo or 2 drones on this turn, but fine. And a blast forge. And then here we are at turn 5, and what do we have? We have 17 income, 13 gold, and 3 green, and a build time 1 dynamo, which is exactly what we had in the other line, right? The difference is we're down a green. Everything else is identical. So if you are doing this to save energy, or to make a better use of energy because you think it's economically better for you, then it is a mistake. You are incorrect about that being better economically. Now, that's not to say this is never a good opening. In particular, in Thorium Dynamo sets, where... Let's go back and look at the other game, the one where I took the standard line. I do this, right? Oh, let's open this in analysis mode because Passive Spot is an idiot. Oops. Say you do this, right? Pretty standard stuff. Player 1's done standard stuff. And Animus is not usually good here, but suppose the advanced set, in addition to Dynamo, had Grimbotch and Electivore or something like that, right? You are feeling quite uncomfortable here with 3 drones and no ability to build a blast forge, right? Basically, all you can do is drone and hope to live. Or maybe it has Perforator and Electivore, whatever. Some great, aggressive, fast red units. So players call this the evil Animus, like in response to the player 2 line of making themselves vulnerable. So if you're worried about your opponent doing this, then the standard line is not what you should take, right? The double dynamo line. In that case, it makes sense to buy insurance. Do this, costing yourself 1 green if they don't Animus you. But leaving yourself much better prepared to cope with the Animus. So you would do this if you think that an Animus by your opponent wins against double dynamo. If you think it loses, then you should just build the 2 dynamos regardless. But if you think it wins, you should stop them from doing it by getting D1 instead of 1-1. Then, okay, so they see you doing this and they don't Animus, right? They just do the normal thing. Now, you've cost yourself a green compared to if you had done the normal thing, but in exchange, you didn't lose the game, and so this was sort of the best opening you had. But anyway, Tobal was arguing that this was best economically, not because of, like, the threat of your opponent building Animus. So I just wanted to analyze that and confirm that indeed it is strictly worse. Now, the other reason you might do it is, say you don't ever want 2 dynamos. Let's say you want an Animus here, and you just want to stop at 13 income. It's fine then, right? I mean, you clearly don't want a double dynamo if you want an Animus on turn 4, because it would be impossible. Maybe you're building, I don't know, Vors or something. Or maybe even you do want 2 dynamos, but you just wanted the Animus right away, and then you can go back to building dynamos. Again, in that case, D1 into, like, A, and then 1 later is also fine. But if you're planning to spend several turns just droning, then you should build dynamo, double dynamo on turn 2. Okay, so a little bit more detailed analysis of that than I really intended to go into, but didn't want to start another game sort of far into the episode. So hope that analysis was useful to you, and I hope you enjoyed the game we actually played. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.